that was a lovely phrase. Now you have to implement it. You can't just talk. You got to walk the walk as well. David, what do you think? What do you make of the Isak situation, mate?
Well, I think obviously from the previous podcast, you guys have covered all the angles. Basically, the way he's acted, is it him not going on tour, blah blah blah. So there's no need to rehash. But obviously, what we do know is that it's apparent that he didn't tell anyone at the club. I mean, if you're going to go, I mean, it's like working from home. If everybody's away on tour, if he doesn't want to be at the ground, and again, you can imagine, because Sky Sports sent the other knobhead up instead of Keith. There was someone else in the training ground this morning, wasn't there? They sent him up. So basically, the amount of tension and press that he would have had on him, I in one respect, I kind of understand why he went to get away from everything. So in that, on his side of things, fair enough. You know what I mean? You want to be out of the firing line, fine. With regards to, the banner at the training ground, the whole rat thing. Rat is such a Scouse word. That's the one thing that sort of made it smell. And also, let's face it, we've got about 50,000 of our dear friends just south of the river that are just begging for any excuse to upset the apple cart that wear red and white stripes. You're telling me that one of them hasn't just jumped in their nicked car and driven over the Tyne Bridge to cause some trouble?
They might have. Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
You don't know. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, back to Isak. I mean, it's unacceptable. What Eddie Howe said is absolutely right. I mean, reading between the lines, the way that it sort of seems to me is that the timing was all wrong. Right? If he wanted to go before the Ekatike thing, all that nonsense, end of June, before we actually started getting into this, he should have been a man about things, sat down with his agent in front of the owner, called Yasser up on the phone and said, I'm going because I didn't get the contract that I was promised. I've done a whole new season for you. I've got you in the Champions League and I've won you a trophy. I want to go, right? You are aware that I was offered this contract? Yes, no, doesn't matter. I want to go. And if basically the club couldn't arrange for him to, if at that point, I believe that, the chairman would have either suddenly realized that Mitchell didn't give him the contract or he didn't get a contract. Let's not go into who's at blame here because I heard you guys thrash that to death the other night. So basically, we don't want to get into that. But basically, whoever's at fault for not getting him that contract and making him feel unstable or undervalued is beside the point. The fact of the matter is he felt undervalued. All right. And again, if you're working for a company and another company comes along and offers you double your money to do the same job, why wouldn't you go? Let's face it, right? That's it. We have to be brutally honest here. Do you know what I mean? It's a business at the end of the day. The fact of the matter is that we love it because, like I said, we're all affiliated with the club and it's our passion, right? But he isn't. And the fact of the matter is that he got himself into a situation where I think that basically, I mean, I'm sure you've all looked at who his agent is, right? And you've looked at the agency. There is 3 other players that are worth 20 million, 25, 30 million. There's nobody in that agency that has the profile that he has. I think his agent has basically bitten off more than he can chew. And he's basically given him shocking information. He's told him to do all these things at the wrong time to basically force a move. And it has backfired massively. So this geezer then basically, his client has had to come back into work and, he might still go. But the fact of the matter is, the one thing I know about the people from this region where I've lived for 10 years, is that they will, if somebody covets something that they have, like I was saying before, right? A friend of mine, he's got literally a garage full of Ferraris. That's all he does. He collects cars. He's an outrageously wealthy man. And basically, there are multiple people that come and speak to him on a weekly, monthly basis, and they try and buy either the car that Michael Schumacher won the Monaco Grand Prix and that he's got in his garage, right? And he will not sell it, not just because he loves it, because everybody else wants it. And when it comes down to these things, the people, when they get to that level of wealth, money is irrelevant. Whether the club could do 150 million.
But David, let me interrupt you there. Let me ask you, is it irrelevant when you need money because you can't just do whatever?
I mean, the thing is, right, that it's an interesting situation because you see, then it becomes about reputation and it becomes about face and status, right? And basically, when it becomes the point where you are the chairman of the public investment fund and you've said this guy is not for sale, and then all of a sudden you've got some group, the Liverpool, respect to them of who they are in terms of football, but in terms of their ownership, you've got these, slightly wealthy American guys compared to Sheikh Yasser, right? They're what? 1/80th of the wealth, right? That is basically like, like the homeless geezer on the street, just basically trying to come and buy your car off you. Do you know what I mean? For a knockdown price.
Yeah.
You're going to tell him to get lost. Do you know what I mean? I would wish I could think of a better analogy off the top of my head. But long story short, it's much more about face and it's more about your word and what you say and what you do. And this is the culture, right? So basically, if he goes, it will be absolutely on Sheikh Yasser's terms. It will be for everything that he wants. If that's 150 million, then Liverpool are going to have to put 150 million on the table, which takes me back to the agent, because I don't think that they've got 150 million to spend. Not in one go.
And then they're talking about going for Gamar Gay. Now, where's all this money coming from? Because I mean, it's unbelievable. Now, Big Tank, thank you for the super chat, buddy. $2 here says Craig Hope is living up to his maiden name. We're going to speak about Craig Hope here in a minute. We're taking time to gloss over his article because he is saying that Newcastle United right now are pushing, as we speak, to sign Sesko. They want a decision. They want an answer. But before that, Jamie, what do you make of Eddie Howe's comments? Again, no player can expect to act poorly and train with the club, the group as normal. You have to earn the right to train with us. We are Newcastle United. But most importantly, is that the right tactics? Because if you want to keep him, is the right tactic to upset him? Or are you it's like which way is a good way to parent, right? Do you spank them? Do you yell at them? Or do you just give them a timeout as the today world, how today things are? What do you make of it?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, if you listen to any interviews with the players, like the one Anthony Gordon did a really good one with Gary Neville, Eddie Howe is actually the disciplinarian in the management setup. They're actually pretty scared of Eddie Howe as a playing group because he can, behind closed doors, apparently he can really go through them. So I think what I would say is after 3 years together, Howe will know how to manage Isak. He'll know what to say at this point. Doesn't seem to have known where he's been the last couple of weeks. But but he'll know the man and he'll know the position of the club. I don't know, Chris. I just keep flick-flapping because there's one scenario here, and it fits in a little bit with what David was saying there, where there's one scenario where we get Sesko, we get Wissa as a replacement for Wilson. That's our new strike force. And then we move on and look at getting the centre-half that we need. Look at supplementing the midfield with Longstaff gone and Willock injured. And we maybe approach the season with some hope, having sold Isak for a world record fee or whatever, which would then kick forward the next summer and mean if you can kind of do the same again to replace whoever's outgoing next summer.
Right.
But all that me comes at a price, which is what David said. It's the loss of pace. It's the fact that Newcastle are still a club who can have their best player taken away by a Liverpool or by a Man United next year. And how long does it take before the story becomes Chelsea want Tonali? And that dogs us all season, and that just becomes the way it is. And we never, ever make that jump from being a contender to being a champion. And I don't know what the best outcome is. And we won't know for months and months of the season. If we keep Isak here, we could get the Isak that, as I said last week, we could get the Isak that we got post-cup final.
Well,
all right, he was fatigued, he was injured, but maybe his head was a little gone.
Well,
the ideal scenario, whether anybody likes it or not, is that we keep Isak and we get him back to the form.
Well, but some fans are saying that there's no way we're comparing. No, but
there's got to be a way back.
Some fans are saying that there's no way we're going to.
Can be found. It needs to be found.
I know, but some fans are saying
it'll take a long time.
Is this old man here, or am I muted to him? What's wrong with you, old man? Listen, I think there are a lot of fans. I don't know. I'm with you, actually. I would like to keep both. I think it would show an unbelievable size of ambition that I've never seen before, and a kick in the nuts to the cartel and everybody else if we keep both. But fans are saying that we can't do it. Either maybe we can't afford them, or the tactics are not going to match if we have both of them.
Sorry, Chris. By both, you mean buy Sesko and keep Isak, and that's how I strike us for the season.
Yeah.
I'm by Wissa. Screw it.
And by Wissa, I'm saying
On top of that, Wissa. Well, Wissa won't. We know that won't. You know, I mean, I guess if we don't sign anybody, but Wissa, he'll play. But
this is what I'm saying. It's thumb screws on Isak now. This is the beauty. If all the rumours that are coming through my grapevine now, saying that Sesko's agent's actually on the plane coming towards Newcastle, it looks very favourable that Sesko has agreed to join us. Right?
So let's talk about Sesko then, because that is the exclusive. 29 minutes ago, Craig Hope saying the Newcastle are tonight pushing hard to agree to get a deal with Leipzig over Sesko. But after Benjamin Sesko's camp has shown encouragement today that he wants to join. I think in the article, within the next 24 hours, but working right now, there is the time is right now. Nobody's sleeping in those offices, I would assume. I don't know. Maybe Andy Howe's taking a nap. Don't forget to smash the like button. It helps us a lot to keep growing. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, activate all notifications, that way you get notified every time we go live. And don't forget, you can become a member, get exclusive content, access to all of our live shows on demand at the time that you want. Also, of course, giveaways every month, sometimes multiple giveaways a month. So stay tuned for that. Check it out. Help support the channel. It's a small fee. And of course, you help us and grow. If you hate the Mackhams, smash that like button.
To say that bleeding racist. When we got the wheel put on, away we went again. But them that had their noses broke, they came back our him. Some went to the dispensary, and some to Dr. Gibbs's, and some to the informer.